grading an area like this culvert, I would start with kind of thinking about the boundary of what I want to grade, and I'd look at the plan sheet a little bit. I've already made sure that it looks like everything's drawn correctly. But looking at it as I'm approaching this, and we can maybe discuss, see what y'all think, I'd probably go somewhere around the head wall and kind of come out a little bit, probably similar to what we have for the riprap pattern, and then go down to the right of way where we show grading kind of through the sump. I'd try to work that out where I think we're going to tie into existing. So I'd probably set my kind of go somewhere around like that for my grading area. Now there will be a little bit of tying it to your proposed corridor a little bit, which will be easy to do at the head wall itself. It may vary a little bit as we go out on these lines that we'll have to kind of perfect a little later. But for now, I would assume it's kind of at the elevation where we have the top of our head wall uniformly across that if we're just getting started. So what I usually do is just start drawing geometry that I want. So I go to the geometry tab and OpenRoads modeling. I've got a couple things referenced in just so that I'll have them. I've got the terrain referenced in and active, the existing terrain. And then I've got the different geometries so that if I need to see a cross-section view, I can see what's going on there. And then the control files as well. So what I'll start, I think I'll do is start here and draw a line kind of, whoops, I should have, when you do this, it pops up. You're probably more familiar with this than me, but give it some kind of feature definition. They're not super specific for what I would call things, so I'll probably, let's see what drainage. There's nothing good in drainage. Ditch, that's probably as good as anything. I'll call it like ditch top back is probably what I'd call the boundary elements. So maybe I'll draw a line right there. And then as I draw them, I'll draw some more lines in here. So I'm going to draw one here. Draw one there. I'm going to draw elevations kind of where it's easy to derive these elevations. So this is a head wall, wing wall structure. I'll probably define, and then these lines are, I'm looking at the culvert layout, tells what kind of head wall it is, SCTB, FW0. Gives our flow line information here. I've kind of checked that we're calling it a 2.5 foot head wall height. So 2 foot 6 inches. And then if you look at the standard, the top of the head wall is 3 inches above what it's talking about for the HW height. So 2 foot 9 inches. So I'm kind of seeing that we got everything positioned correctly. I have the corridor mixed in before I start doing, and that's coming out to the right location, and it looks good in the profile. So I think we're pretty ready to go with these elevations. So all this here, that's kind of in this apron area, I'll probably set lines around that. And then the head wall itself. So let me start with the top of the head wall, because that elevation will be really easy to derive. And that's kind of all on this, let's call this ditch top back, kind of all this line work. And then we put some other line work that I'll use to define it. Now it goes, these are touching each other. For making a surface, I'll probably make it not quite touching itself so it doesn't like blow up or anything as far as this. And then give it a line down here, and these all, so this is going to be a steep drop off, and that's this, I'm going to give the flow line elevation of our culvert. Turn my snaps back on.
Oh, while you're drawing that, I'm gonna iterate on that just a minute for Gabino. So whenever you're doing vertical drops, and I don't know if I've told you this before, but I'll just gonna say it again. Like you have something that, let's just say, offset 10, that's at station 310, but also something at station offset 10, the same offset that's at station or elevation 300. The terrain model isn't able to recognize that. So for vertical elements, you got to put a little bit of an offset so that the terrain doesn't blow up. And that's even when you start modeling retaining walls, you'll have to do that same thing. Like you'll have to put just a slight I guess slope, if you will, to your retaining wall, even though it's vertical, so that if you're creating a proposed terrain, it's able to recognize that and not get all confused.
Okay, so it's not just me doing that.
No, it's
That's
not.
just what I'm blowing up.
And actually, I talked to Bentley about this, and that was their recommendation for retaining walls as well. So it's not just us making things up, even though it probably was to begin with, but it's been confirmed
Yeah.
with Bentley. That's the way to do it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I should have, and I can change it. I should have made these a different definition now that I'm doing the bottom. That way there's some separation. So I think I can still click on them right and change them. Say this, ditch bottom. There. And then turn my culverts back on. Then I want the stitch top back again. Yeah, that's fine. So then I'm just gonna put all this stuff in. It's probably good enough for that part. So turn that off. So a lot of the easy stuff, and then it's a matter of, so then I'll also have it. I'll probably draw, let's see if I can see from my profile just to get an estimation of how far it was looking like. We're coming out at 301, and then we slope until somewhere below 300. Probably get a, what's that elevation there? So 4 foot 8 inches. 299.8 or something around there. So looking at this, 299 somewhere back here, somewhere a little bit beyond that, we're going to tie back to existing. So I'd probably put, start like putting a boundary of where I think we can grade and connect to the existing ground. And then I'm going to go and do the detailed work of what I'll probably do. Let's see. I haven't really done exactly this before with a culvert, this much detail, but like I might take this where we're saying, hey, it's going to be this flow line. And then I'm saying somewhere a little past 299, I'm going to tie back to existing. I'll probably look at where the channel is somewhere down here, try to center that up.
So are these lines for the channels just guesses for now and you'll fine tune it? Or
Yeah,
okay.
fine tune it, I'll contour it out and then get to fine tuning it a little bit later.
Okay.
Which it shouldn't. So we just write down, let's do the basic. So we've got the elevations we know, 301, and then the head wall is 2.75 feet. So our top of head wall is going to be 303.75. And then the apron, I'll probably draw that at a constant 301 elevation and then grade from there out. So if I start with going to geometry, going to profiles, element profile, do my constant elevation here. Let me turn off some of the other stuff. Okay. So we know this, everything that's the top of the head wall is going to be, what did I say, 303.75? I'm just going to click on those elements. And that, depending on what the roadway is doing in that straight line, it might vary. It might be 301.75 for the head wall, and it might change a little bit. But for now, I'm going to assume that's pretty flat. I'm going to put all this, click it all together, and you do for the constant elevation, you just click on the elements. It's popping up somewhere. Let's see. It usually says, can't see it down here. Locate element, reset to end. I'm just clicking all these, and then I'll hit right click, and then I'll type in the elevation I want, 303.75. Then I left clicked to confirm. So that should have assigned these to a profile. So if I hover over them now, does active profile exist? And if I go to the profile view. It's at 303.75 where I want it. And then I'll do the same thing for these bottom ones. Making sure I don't hit the outside one. And there. Reset. And then that's all going to be 301.
So is this only like a 24-inch or something?
The
pipe size?
Oh, the height, yes.
Yeah.
It's 2 feet high.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good point because I deferred a comment about making them all 3 feet high. I haven't heard that. I'll need it. But I guess it's for being able to, in case someone needs to go through it. Yeah, those should have profiles now. And then the next, these get, so the ones that require more profiling, I guess the other ones that are constant, if I look at the standard, this point here will be 4 inches above the flow line. So probably 4 inches is 301 plus 412, 0.33. Is that right? 412?
No, 25. No, 33.
33.
Yeah.
So 301.33. So I can put those in. One through three. Do it. I'm not sure. I think I did not. One more pop up there. Nope, I did it. Okay. And then I'd probably put another one in front of that. Maybe that's overkill. I'll clean that up later. You might, to show that drop off, I might put another one in. And then, so from here, these type elements where you know the start and finish elevation now on this one, I do the profile by this one, line between points. And I try not to snap because I find it, and then I have to unlock things.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, since can I show you a tool that might be faster?
So another one.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you go up to vertical profile, you see where profile creation is, drop that down. Under you see like below set active profile. Yeah, drop that down and go to profile intersection point.
Profile intersection point. Okay.
And now you can choose the one at the top that one's touching. Yep. And then also the one at the bottom that it's touching. Oh, are they not touching? Saying invalid geometry type.
I thought they were. I thought I snapped.
I thought you did too. Huh? Oh, sorry, we did the wrong one. Right clicked or go back into the tool. Yeah. Locate element. Okay, right click real quick.
In here?
Or like no, in space, like to get you back to step one of that.
Oh, sorry. How did I do that? It was in here, right?
Yeah, so,
profile.
okay, so choose the line that you want to show it on first. So, yeah,
And
so
do I need
profile
to
intersection point. Yeah, choose profile intersection point. I don't think you
do I
did.
need to go into the profile view? This
No,
one?
not yet. You
Oh, not yet.
can,
Okay.
yeah, but so yeah, profile intersection point.
Profile intersection point right
Yeah,
here.
now click on the line that you want to show it on, which is that one. Now locate the line that's intersecting. Oh, what the heck? Is it not touching? Why is it doing that?
That I don't know. It might not be. Let me try it on the other one.
Okay.
Uh,
Well, I was like, this tool's gonna change your life.
Does it have
intersection.
does it have an active profile?
It doesn't yet. Does it need to?
No, does the top one have a? Yeah, we watched him do it. He put in 30175 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one should. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
it should just do it so, but what it would
It
do
connects
if
them.
it was working, it would pop up some points in profile view, and
Hmm.
then you could just snap instead of doing that. Like it should be like instant,
Quicker.
but
Yeah.
I don't know why it's not working.
Okay, I'll do it my
Yeah,
dummy
maybe you can
way.
try it in later, but
Yeah.
it would just literally pop up that elevation, so you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah. So I just
But
kind of look at what this is doing and
but yeah, you know how it goes when you're trying to show people stuff. It doesn't
doesn't
work.
work. So I see the direction it's going. What was that lower? And then after I do that, I might change this to 0.
Okay.
It'll still build a pretty good surface, even if it's a little off. But and then that was what 291.25,
3-3.
33. That's gonna be 293 points. What you call it?
7-5,
293.75.
right?
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And so that's now I'd have to think. So I'm sure you have a ditch. Do I not have your corridors turned on? Or I need that. So we did, let's see, we did this one, and I probably have to set this as active. Some of them work where you just use the tool and it's automatically active. These don't. So that one I set as active. Probably I would just, on this one, now that I've drawn that one, it's probably good enough to just go project profile. So I can go for that. I usually use this slope from element. Click on this, reset to complete, reference element, 0%, all, none, none, and that should be good. Okay, and then do the same thing on this side, and have y'all used all these tools in this way before? I feel like y'all
Yes.
probably do. Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay, so it's
Yes.
all. And then I'm just gonna combine them together at the end and then see how it looks. And usually it's pretty smooth at like smoothing out the contours and things. So let me see this. This one. Well, this is fresh. Why it's not popping up for the window. What's that? Okay, and then that's going the other way. So okay, we said the top was at help me with that 293.75.
0.75, yes.
Enter. That is at 0 basically. And then the bottom is at 291.25.
Was 0.33? No, wait. It's
412. Yeah.
Yeah.
291.33. So then I need to set that one active. Then profile. Oops. Then I want to get this one. Reset. Sloping from that one. And then I might check it to make sure it looks pretty close. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then, okay, then from there, this part, this is kind of a guess, like you said. I'll make my main channel here going from maybe the middle of this. Pitch bottom center. Right, started. Why are my snaps? Oh yeah, I turned them off. There. You here.
And what is that line? Is that just a flow line?
Yeah, this is gonna be kind of the grading line because we know a specific elevation it's starting at here. So now I'm gonna do a profile for that one, and it should. So where we start, we're gonna say it's at 301, right? So, and then really it's got. Let's see. Actually, what it should be. It should be pretty close to what we show tying into existing here. So I should be able to see kind of what we have on the culvert layout. So 1.31, let's see if that's pretty close. It's showing 1.16, but we can change that if it's not. So yeah, I'm gonna make that, oh, well, that's at 0. And then I'll make that 301. 1.71. So we're showing a little bit steeper. But I think we'll see how it comes out. What I might do is add some more lines because I can also, on these boundaries, so where I'm going to grade, I'm going to have that meet up with the existing terrain. So like, I'll probably add another one here. So let me just go ahead and set that one as active. it's not popping up? Okay, so that's active now. That's going from 301 there. So this line probably here. So let's open this one up. And it's going to show the existing terrain. But we're going to fill it in. So we have to kind of have a knowledge. So we got, what's our flow line? 290, 301. 301. I think what I'll do, because that's a big hole right now. We're filling this in and grading out to here. Then it gets higher. So I'll probably just do something. Well, we're starting at the headwall elevation. What's that? And then it's going to tie to like your geometry. So that's where we'd have to, this is where it would require a little more thinking, but so that's 303.75, I think. So go here, 303.75.
So is that your ditch slope?
Yeah, this would still be like the roadway slope, and then it would go down to the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna kind of guess at that for now. Do I even? Oops, I did the wrong. So we got the top, I know, is somewhere 303.75. Is that what we said? I think so. And then something's locked that I don't like. But I'll come to like here. So I mean, you got like a ditch coming down to my culvert here. If I make that 303.75, hopefully that ties close to the embankment slope. And then, yeah, this one somewhat higher than our flow line at like 302. 12% is less than 6-to-1, so that's probably decent. From there, I'm thinking I might take that. Let's put the horizontal line, stitch top back for kind of the outside. Snap to here. And then this, I'm gonna start it at 3. I'm gonna use one of the more like tools that let you put in a more complex geometry. And then I think it's this one, Complex by BPI. And then turn off that. What is something? I want some snaps. Then I'm going to follow the existing ground because at some point I want it to be kind of tied into the existing ground. Okay. If we wanted that at 302. Oh, and it's locked. I hate it when it does that. So you have to go this one, or no. Properties, I think. There's a way to unlock that. I can't forget. It is active.
No,
What
I'm
are you
gonna
trying to
just
do?
grab it
What?
and put it back in the same place.
Unlock. See these locks where it.
Oh,
I
yeah. Yeah, like Gabino said, just grab it and put it back in the same spot. There you
go. Okay. Give it an elevation. There we go. 302.
So is that 302? Is that just we're just kind of estimating something higher than the flow line?
Actually,
between.
Sorry, that's why I was doing it. I want this one to be 302. That's because that last line I drew here, I had 302. I had it in there because we were coming off the slope. And then this one, I actually did want that one snapped to existing
So,
ground.
Is that
why
other
did you
slope?
do that as 302 and not 6-1 for the slope and let the slope control the?
That's true. I was trying to pick an easy elevation to remember on this one. So I went
Oh, okay.
see here. But actually, no, that's no good. Yeah, let's do that. Let's come all the way to the end of it. Oh, I was also, let's see, yeah, I could do that. 16.67 minus 16. And so that, and I'll do a complex geometry on that one too. And do let me set that one. Active 301.0141. That is active.
So I guess you wouldn't want the 6-1 to go all the way to existing ground.
No, because we were filling in a hole there at this elevation and then coming out because this was. I don't think we want to keep going down. We want to stop at 301 or stop wherever it's going to tie in here.
Did you ever bring the
least-
model in?
Yeah, I thought I did, but I'm not
Oh, okay.
seeing it on there. Let me check. So I forget which elevation I said this was like 301.01 here. We do. That's not good. 301. Okay. Let's see. We've got that one. Profile. No profile. No profile here. I can probably project these profiles, I think, at least for starting out. And then I can kind of see how it looks, and then it tells me where I've gone wrong. And I would have to do this side too, but Profile here.
So basically what you're doing is building the break lines for the trapezoid of the ditch, right?
Yes, exactly.
Have you ever worked with
It's not letting
templates
me.
before, Eric?
I have not. That would be new to me. But
Okay, because now that I see what you're doing, I was just pondering I wonder if you just don't put a profile on the flow line and then drop a trapezoid template through there and let it do its thing for you. I mean, I see
maybe
what you're
through here.
doing. Yeah.
Yeah. So this stuff will be pretty flat in here.
Would the trapezoidal template, would that just be like flat at the flow line elevation
Mm-hmm.
and follow the profile and then 6-to-1 slopes on each side
Mm-hmm.
coming up?
That's probably what I would start with. But
yeah,
yeah, because we did
that might.
something similar on US 82 Nakona. Now that I'm seeing what you're doing.
Uh-huh.
We just used the template though. But I guess
So
whatever you're more comfortable with. But
yeah, I'd have to get some template experience to be more comfortable
yeah.
myself. But does it allow you to do the intricacies though? This part, like this stuff
So no,
in
you would have
here?
to build that, but you could do it
Okay.
at the start of or at the end of
At the
your
end of it.
yeah, the end of it.
Yeah. I, I probably do need this one is
And then I
301.
guess it would take away some of the trial and error that you're
Yeah.
doing.
So let me see if I do this. So we're really almost there, I think. And then we'll see how ugly it is, basically.
And one thing, you know how you have that 4-inch, I guess from that 301, you have that 4-inch on that.
Yes.
Is that, is that where the grading starts from that
Yes.
4-inch height?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
I would probably put something in to refine it a little bit once I get the big picture stuff worked out. That's 301, 0, and set active. So that active, active, active profile. Make sure everything has an active profile. That one is not. I want to kind of see what it looks like from here though, because I think we'll be able to tell if it's working. So have y'all done this part where you build a terrain? Y'all do that?
Mhm.
Okay. So that. Recline. So oh, I don't want to add features. I want to create from elements here. Give it some kind of name. Downstream. And then I'll go. We'll see you, Justin. Here. Get all these small elements.
I'm sorry, I might have missed it. Or I guess you're creating the terrain now.
Mhm.
Yes. Yeah. Back to profile, making sure I didn't miss any. Oh, I want that one.
Does Delise not have this model, or she doesn't have the head walls modeled, right?
Yeah, not the head walls,
Oh, okay.
just the culverts. So here, here, here. So I'd usually do one thing differently than I did there. I'm just gonna let it go. I would have selected breaks, and then it lets you click through, and then, or I may have done the boundary elements first, and then go through and do the breaks, because now it's going to be kind of merging it in with the rest. But I'm just going to follow through with it and see if we can see what it looks like. Break line. Oh, yeah, I would have done boundary first and then break, or maybe the other way. I can't remember, but.
Yeah, and you can always remove it after the fact too, and
So
like you can remove there's
elements.
Yeah, remove elements. Yeah, you can remove it and then you can re-add it if that makes sense. If you did, I don't know if you knew that, but you can.
Yeah, sometimes I
Okay.
struggle with it, adding stuff in, and or at least I was for the one, and it was like, yeah, I'll just recreate it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it sometimes worked for me. So then I would go, where's my display? To my model. And I would want to see this. Where's the contour settings? I always forget how to get to that.
What are you trying to do?
See more fine detail on the contours.
Yeah, so you can go up to element template, like go up to home, and then say home. Yours is laid out a little bit different than me. Where's your level?
I thought there was something here. Levels here.
Like do you have a bar that has, or actually in the search ribbon in the top right? Or yeah, in the top
Here.
right, where it says search.
Oh yeah.
Type in element template. Yeah, and then go to element templates. And then pop down on your file, and then pop down on terrain, and then click on that. And then if you scroll down, you can
change the
change it
interval.
there. Yeah.
I put something like really fine. Then I can see kind of, okay. Yeah, that's kind of working. And no, this would probably, trying to see why. I'd have to fine tune that because I'm not really wanting, well.
Do you have a plan set handy what it's supposed to look like? Just
Well, I would like it to look like, I'm not sure why it's doing that. These contour lines should be hitting the wing wall
top.
as it's coming
Yeah.
down. and then it would drop. So, which we gave this an elevation of the top, which I think would be correct, and then we sloped this, and that's going down. It's probably that I didn't do this part right, and I probably need to check my profile on this. Let's see. So that we want to be 303.75. For this, I always go to like the geometry and just start to draw one so I can see this kind of. That's 301. Why is that? Actually, you know what we did? Something must be messed up about this elevation. Let's see. 292. Something's wrong there. I did something wrong. What did we say? 301 low line. Why is it 292? Yeah, because that's where I messed up. So it really is easy when no one's watching. It works now.
Yeah, and you probably could have got this done in 15 minutes.
No, I don't know about 15 minutes, but
Uh,
still, I think
Right.
this is where I messed up. Right. Yep, that's not right. What was I thinking? 291. So that should have been 301. Good thing is this should update if they're tied together. And then that was 303.75. There we go. That looks more like it. So I haven't really done that side yet. And I probably did the same thing there. Probably had that number stuck in my head for some reason, but yeah, it's going down that way. And then we're going to bring it out to like a channel that is going to eventually tie into whatever the existing is doing down here. So I don't know. It's probably comparable to doing it the manual way, but it's a little more fun to me and it makes my brain hurt less. Than
yeah.
trying to do all especially when you're working with decimals and contours and things. When, I have to set this at 301.75 and then it's like, okay, where's my 301 contour?
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of the process. This did work on that side pretty much. I would fine tune it some more when I don't know why I can't get your corridor to come through over here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But yeah, that makes sense. Oh, you don't have live nesting on?
Oh, I just said, okay, I thought I did. Live nesting.
Depth 1 when that loads.
Depth 1, you think?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Must be on like depth 3 or something. I'm just trying to get.
Referencing the whole world.
Yeah. So would you use, so that's where I'd struggle with templates because I'm not necessarily doing anything uniform through here as far as depth or anything. So it would make me think a little bit versus doing this. I just kind of play around with lines, get it smooth, and work out all these kinks as I start to build it.
Yeah, well, if you have the template set up right, which most of ours, if you're using one of the long view ones, would be,
Yeah,
where you can place a generic one and then mess around with, like you said, if there's some at certain depth you want to get, or even narrowing up that opening. I would
yeah,
have done this. Well, now I see what you're doing. I think a template probably would have been a little bit more effective and quicker.
okay. For
Um, for at
for
least
the whole
the
thing or
channel,
just that
just the
part,
channel
channel?
part, and then
Yeah,
as far as what you did with all the line work with the head wall, I've never done it like that, but that makes that's like easy peasy, like doing it
yeah,
that way. And um, so with what you did with the head wall, I think that's probably the way to go, the way what you did with the head wall. But
yeah.
as far as the channel itself, I think you probably could have gotten it done with less trial and error with just a template.
Template, yeah.
Do you,
Um,
I guess, Jennifer, do you think, I guess, adding the template and just getting a starting point and using kind of tracing over it, or would you just use the template? I guess because I know whenever they reference this into the sheets, when you do templates, they can't control the contours like when you do handwork or you do it manually. I think they had to
oh,
create proposed terrains like for the layouts and all
oh,
that.
they did. I didn't know what they
Hmm.
ended up having to do.
Yes, I believe that's the way. Last time I was in that conversation, they were just gonna do proposed terrains, and
Like
they,
it wouldn't turn on, like the
yeah,
final contours definition wouldn't show it.
yeah, I think they were having issues with them, yeah,
Um,
annotating, and I, I
oh,
re
annotating.
yeah, and then,
Well, he ended up having to do it manually anyway. I told him not to
uh,
do that.
oh, and
Yeah.
then I think it was like, also the intervals. You can't control the intervals. I don't know. I know there was some issues. I didn't follow
Hmm,
through with exactly
yeah.
what
So you're
the
just saying
final.
as far as what you would do for the end product to get it on a sheet?
Yeah, because if you do it manually, all you do is reference it in. You're able to adjust everything from whatever as a reference. I think you can still control the intervals and stuff.
Yeah.
But on the template, you
Um,
can't unless you have to have it under design. What is it? Final with contours at all
mhm.
times.
Which is probably not a bad idea. We should just do that because we got intersection layouts and all that. There's like nothing stopping us from doing design final with contours, right?
No, I just
Besides to how it looks.
I would turn them off because they'll make my files real slow.
Oh, do
And then
they?
yeah, and
Oh.
then I'll get messages and then be like, "Can you turn on these contours?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I go into the DT, and that happened probably a handful of times because they were,
Uh,
yeah, and it was my fault because I was in the file and I just turn it off because the file was just going
huh.
slow.
I guess we need to figure out that. That can be something to
Yeah.
put on your
It
list to see if
it
there's a better
wasn't
way.
it wasn't terribly slow. It just as long as I remember to turn them back on, just because sometimes the bottom of the ditch was kind of hard to see because of the
Mm-hmm.
contours and but I guess it's probably just a matter of getting used to it as well.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah, but that's probably
Yeah.
something we need to investigate now that we have some time to make sure that's how to show them on sheets. They probably say
Yeah.
proposed contours, but proposed contours sometimes can get slow, but unless you do it in sections.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about the the contours in GeoPack. You could just load them from a 10 in a separate file and do the display however you wanted.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know how it
Can we
is
still do
here.
that? Can we still do 10 display? I don't think you can.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't found it if you can. Um, Analyze point is like the closest thing to the 10 tools I've found.
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of my method. I think it's like for areas that have a lot going on, like that the intersection where I was like bending channels together and combining them. That's the only way I know how to do it. It's just do a bunch of lines and profile them as I go. And kind of
So I
build
guess
the
after you build that, you just tie in the
yeah.
contours.
Yeah, I'd still do a little more or a bit more cleanup on the edges and think it through like where. So this is a pond today. See where you're ending and how to tie that in. And so I want to fill this whole thing in for sure because I bet that's deeper than our culvert. Let me see. That's 3. Yeah, 297. So yeah, this is, I got to make sure I fill all this completely in, or one of us does, and then tie it together on the outsides. And so I'd put a few more lines where it's just maybe even a hole. This part, it wouldn't be necessarily tying to existing. It might be tying to the edge of your grading, but at some point down, like where you tie to existing, then I would have a line kind of coming around the whole thing as maybe like a boundary and tying to existing ground. And then making sure I fill in everything in this hole that I want to. And that it drains to this channel we're creating. So kind of what I'm thinking there.
Okay. And are these? I guess are we gonna have and I assume we're gonna have an individual DGN for each side, or at least for each location. I would think that would be the.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I think before you hopped on, probably for each one. Do you think for each side, Jennifer, or just each
I
culvert?
would
For
do
this,
each
this is
culvert, not each side. That would be a
yeah,
Because I know, like right now, the way you create the terrain
yeah.
for
And I'm not gonna do one for every culvert. It's mainly these ones with like
yeah, I think
special
maybe each side would
grading.
be good, depending on how or I guess it gets created. Because I know, like when you do it by just the boundary or breaks, it works
Yeah.
fine. But if you use the feature definition one, if you have two separate trying to create
oh
two terrains in the same DGN, it starts trying to solve together and does triangles in between. And
Oh, okay. So
but
make
yeah,
them
but you
separate.
can
yeah,
use it by breaks here.
yeah,
We just use that mainly for the roadway because that's most likely to change. I mean, hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it doesn't, but it's more likely to change than
yeah.
the grading, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do one for each side on this one.
Well, I was
So,
telling Gabino that you could just do it by the structure since, because he's talking about like you can create your
okay.
terrain two separate ways. Like you're doing it by elements, but we've been doing it by graphical filter. And when you do it by graphical filter, then it's going to try to pull both of them and tie both of them together. But since you're doing
Okay.
it by elements, it just treats one side as its own, if that makes any sense. Because, like, let's say
Yeah.
you have the ditch. let's just say ditch bottom on one side, ditch bottom on the other side. Then if it's by graphical filter, then it's looking for ditch bottom. So it's going to try to tie those two when it shouldn't be, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But what I was saying, the way you're doing it, we shouldn't have to separate the
Do
file.
two of them. Okay.
Yeah. But I might
Cool.
have Gabino just look at what it would take for the template because I am interested, but I think the way you're doing it is just fine too. I think it's preference, but also what could be more efficient maybe. But like you said, with
Yeah.
the more detailed ones, you do need more time, more leeway to be able to modify if you need to. So, um, the template you can modify, but you might not be able to modify it to the extent. Um, I mean, I guess there would be ways. I think it's just a matter of preference, but
Yeah.
I know, well, I guess let me just say for you this would probably be faster because you know how to do this and this is how you're used to doing it and you could probably get it done pretty quick.
Yeah.
But for let's just say Gabino or me, you know, haven't modeled it this way, it would be faster to do a template. So I think it's just depends on the user.
Yeah.
I don't think either way is wrong. It's, I guess.
Yeah. Which is faster. I'll probably, I do want to learn the template stuff because I could see other uses for them. And I'm used to like, I can update anything that we've got on culverts. Like I'm familiar with how to like update the design of this, but I wasn't the one who made the original template drop to be able to build it.
Yeah.
So like I can do the profile and extend it out or take it whatever, but that's just something I haven't done yet is templates.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll have Gabino model it. Let's just so we can compare, and then also we'll both, you know, we're training each other,
Yeah.
or teaching each other, I guess. Would be, but I know you're very busy, but we do appreciate you taking the time to
Yeah.
show us how you do things, and we've both learned something. So
My favorite part of ORD right here is doing this kind of stuff, but
yeah,
I always like
Yeah.
getting in and doing some grading, but
yeah. I think grading's fun. I think it's fun just because you can. I mean, someone might say there's a right way, but every person's gonna grade something different.
yeah.
Like, it's not gonna look the same. Like,
To me, I'm just playing in a sand pit here. I'm just digging it out and
yeah,
I look at it like that looks pretty good. I may try to make this more gradual to get back and then
yeah, and that's what's fun because you're kind of a little artist. Like,
yeah,
And on those
exactly.
contours, all those contours need to tie into another contour, right?
yes,
Essentially. Okay.
Yes. Eventually it needs to tie into existing ground. So that's where I put like or to yours, whichever. So like this stuff, you
mm-hmm.
know, I think it's probably close enough to where you come down here and meet it. It's pretty much what you have already because it's probably not changing that much. And then we hit here, and then these edges. That's where I would build my boundary and probably push it a little closer to the right of way, and then so it can be as smooth as possible.
Yeah. But that's also one reason why I prefer hand grading sometimes on areas like this because you can
Yeah.
really smooth it out because it's like, why won't the model like it's so easy, like
Yes. And
and yeah,
that like once I got here, and maybe I would think about like, yeah, I'm never gonna get rid of all this stuff, and maybe like that's the bad thing about so geopack. You just load it from a tin, and then I could kind of smooth that out on what it
Mhm.
appears, and then I'm just giving them a point table, so it's not. But here, I don't think I can really modify the contours it spits out, and I don't think you can really just like plop them in as hard elements. At least I haven't figured out a
Yeah.
way to do that.
You can.
Oh, you
And I can
can?
show you if you want to do
Okay.
handwork and create a terrain out of that. One day I can show you how to do that. That's what we did on the bridge grading. Because at first we tried to use the model, but then I was like, the model is not making this smooth. This is more work. So we just used the model as a reference point to where like the 4:1 like even contours hit, and
Yeah.
then deleted the model after we got those points. Like we deleted what the corridor spit out. We did our own, and we essentially created a terrain from elements using those contour lines because you do them by constant
Okay.
elevation. Yeah.
So you're able to spit this out as, I guess, and then build another terrain after
Mm-hmm.
modifying these. Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested in that, because then you just build it from elements. So you would take this out, smooth it however you want, and then rebuild it off those as break lines or as
Yeah.
contours.
Yeah. So you just kind of
Yeah.
use this if you were just using this as a reference point. So let me just,
Okay.
I'll just kind of, I know we don't have, probably don't have time to go over, but I'll just kind of go over the general overview. So like, let's just say you were good with this. I don't know if it'll let me point, but if you were good with this, then like the points where 301 hits at your break line, 300 hits, let's just pretend those are 1 foot, and so forth. You just mark those points, and then same on the outside, and then you smooth up, then you delete it and smooth up everything in between the points, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
Like you just use this as a reference to get where those elevations are hitting, and then delete it and smooth out as you see fit. That's what we did for the bridge, because with the bridge grading, well, even culvert grading, you can make it smooth. Like if you're just doing it by hand, it's just for some reason there's a disconnect with the modeling to do that, and it's harder sometimes.
Yeah.
And they took away like the tools to be able to do it completely by hand. Like used to, we would just cut a cross section, see where those elevations hit, and then use active chain control to draw the elevations from the cross section to the plan view. If you remember, did you do any of that in SS10? You have active
Well,
chain control. You had your plan view, and then
yes.
you could do a
Yeah.
cross section view, but you could draw in
Yeah.
plan view.
Oh
Well,
yeah, I
they took
loved
away
that.
that capability.
I know.
So
Yeah, I loved that.
I
I,
same. So
I
I'm
thought
like,
they should
well,
have like moved it to where you could actually go in that cross section view with plan and profile open, and then make the change in the cross section view. That would be cool for grading and drainage. But I think
yeah.
it's because sometimes you just see, okay, I'm steeper than I want to be, so let me just pull up the ditch profile and pull it up in the cross section, and it pulls up your profile too. That would have been really cool. But it's,
You're gonna have to
I don't
log that as an enhancement request. That would have been cool.
know. I loved chain control. I was like, that was great for drainage design.
Yeah, it
It's,
is. Yeah, and grading, but yeah,
yeah,
they take away all the good stuff. Or the stuff that it's like you're making this harder than it needs to be. So, well,
cool.
again, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
And
Thought,
we might just try to do this in a template just to see how it goes. And we can compare, but I think that's all
yeah,
we got. Unless
yeah,
Cabino has any other questions.
No, I guess I'm gonna give it a shot. Not not this week, but
Yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
I guess I guess Eric probably heard it. Yesterday, I was talking to the lease, probably right at the end of the day. I was gonna start looking at that PDF. I started
Hmm.
looking at it, and I told her there's a whole bunch of stuff all over the PDF, so I might start asking questions. Whoever left the comment,
Yeah.
just to make sure I'm
Well,
doing it correctly. But I've pretty much just said just try to focus on the Suda. She said she'd try to model everything according to that
yeah.
PDF. So, uh,
You could still probably both of them are like good. I don't know. I've been trying to think of the strategy, but if you look at like our previous notes, and then if it's a like questionable